50 years ago, Steve McQueen spent 12 on-screen minutes and many thousands of dollars showcasing the performance of a 1968 Mustang Fastback. In high pursuit of a Dodge Challenger, McQueen slid, bashed, and jumped his modified Mustang through the streets and surrounding areas of San Francisco. This type of extensive, adrenaline-fueled automotive cinema had never really before been seen, at least not to that scale, and the thrill of it really drew in audiences and helped make Bullitt, or at least the chase scene, a cult classic. Now, over time, Mustang enthusiasts have created replicas of that 1968 movie car, but it wasn't until 2001 that Ford and Warner Brothers collaborated on a factory spec honorary edition of the Bullitt Mustang. In 2008, they made another version, and now for 2019, we have the third installment of the Bullitt Mustang. But is this new car anything like that 1968 Fastback from the movie? That's what I want to find out in this episode of Cariosity. So let's get started. Now, I'm gonna first talk about the things that are similar between the two cars because there aren't as many as are different. Obviously, this one is the same Highland Green paint job as that original 1968 movie car. And in fact, that's still a unique feature of the Bullitt. You can't get this paint job on any other new Mustang. And fun fact about that 1968 car, its Highland Green paint was scuffed by the guy who prepped the vehicle for the movie on purpose to give it a sort of matte finish. The Fastback Shape 2, with the slowly tapering roofline right into the deck lid, and this pronounced hip line, reminiscent of the ancestral 1968 Fastback. The wheels have their similarities, but they may be more different than similar because the originals torque thrust style American racing wheels, same 5-spoke design, but they were painted gray. These are replicas of those American racing wheels. They're not the exact same, and they are painted black, and they're 19 inches, while as the first ones were 15 inch with big, thick sidewalls. These, the more narrow sidewalls, the Michelin rubber, those 1968 Fastback wheels were wrapped in Dunlops at the front and Firestones at the rear. So yeah, maybe more different than similar there. The rest of the similarities are subtle. The debadging of the grille and the fenders are similar to this car. Ford did the same. The wide mouth grille design with wide set headlights, although these are more slender headlight designs than the rounded details from the 1968 car. The chrome surrounds for the window and the grille and the wheels are also callbacks to that 1968 Bullitt Fastback. Now the differences, because there are quite a few of them, and these are more profound, I would say, than the similarities. You got to start with the engine. That car had a 390 cubic inch 6.4 liter V8 that made 320 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque. This car has a 5 liter Coyote V8 that makes 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. So significantly more horsepower and actually a tiny bit less torque. This car is also 5 inches longer than that Fastback that was in the movie, and it weighs a whopping 1,000 pounds more than that car. So while the car that was in the movie had much less engine than this, maybe not in displacement, but when in total output, this car is carrying a lot more weight. So actually in a drag race, that would be pretty interesting, the torquey lightweight of that 1968 Fastback versus the heftiness but outright power of this new Bullitt. That movie car used a Borg-Warner T10 4-speed manual gearbox, whereas this 2019 Mustang Bullitt uses a Getrag MT86 6-speed manual. And that makes a big difference in terms of how the power is delivered to the rear wheels. One other exterior detail between the two That 1968 Fastback had louvers where the rear window would go, but for safety and visibility reasons, Ford would not offer that for the Mustang Bullitt. And now we arrive at the starkest difference between the two cars, the interiors. Because that 68 Fastback had a set of leather seats and a Shelby drive steering wheel, and that's it. This new car has every modern convenience you could ever want, including heated and cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, push-button ignition, dual-zone automatic climate control, a 12-inch digital driver display, an 8-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You name it, all your needs are met with the new Mustang Bullitt. And those are really the biggest similarities and differences between the 1968 Fastback that appeared in Bullitt and the Mustang Bullitt for the 2019 model year. Oh, except for one other thing. Both cars really do love to play around.